She believes if they would have sent her grandchildren sooner, her granddaughter would still be here.
Only thing I ever got out of her that she was a loving child. That's all I ever got. I want them to know that I love them and I want them to come to Mississippi and live with me and let me give them a better life than what they have.
Alice Washington says she cannot come to grips with the fact that her 15-year-old granddaughter died while in custody of the state. Sheriff Streck told us he knows no details of any children's services case, but said Heaven Washington was supposed to be in that car with that person on her way to school on Friday morning.
Just after 8 a.m. on November 17th, Montgomery County sheriffs responded to the area of Philadelphia Drive and Turner Road in Harrison Township for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would locate an unresponsive teen girl.
Family of the teen murdered in yesterday's fatal shooting in Harrison Township is speaking out to honor her life.
The 15-year-old juvenile's name has not yet been released by authorities, but the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office confirmed that there was a shooting Friday around 8 a.m. involving two cars at the intersection of Philadelphia and Turner Road in Harrison Township. The victim was in the passenger seat at the time and was transported to the hospital and was pronounced dead at the hospital.
The victim was identified as 15-year-old Heaven Washington, who was transported to Miami Valley Hospital, where she was sadly passed away after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds, just 1 month after her 15th birthday. A closer look into the case revealed that Heaven was on her way to school and excited about a school field trip when she was shot multiple times during a rolling shootout. As the driver drove towards the intersection of Philadelphia Drive and Turner Road, another vehicle pulled alongside of it and began shooting, with the driver returning fire. Heaven was struck multiple times during the incident. Dispatchers received an emotional 911 call from the male driver of the 2010 white Chevrolet Impala. The other vehicle involved fled the scene, and deputies found several weapons during their analysis of the crime scene. After speaking to the male driver of the Chevrolet Impala, detectives learned the other vehicle involved was a red Toyota RAV4 with two people inside, 29-year-old Tommy Moreland and 32-year-old Denisha Taylor. Heaven's grandmother, who made several attempts to gain custody of Heaven and her siblings, was devastated. It was her son, Heaven's father, who would call her that morning to deliver the tragic news.
The Montgomery County Sheriff says his detectives have identified two people, one of whom is Denisha Taylor, who you saw there, that they think were involved. Now, this shooting happened Friday morning at Turner Road and Philadelphia Drive in Harrison Township. NewsCenter 7's Mike Campbell joins us here in the studio after speaking with the sheriff and the 15-year-old's grandmother about this heartbreaking death. Mike?
Well, Cheryl, the sheriff says that Crime Stoppers is now offering a reward in helping find the one remaining person his detectives are looking for in this case. As far as the child's grandmother, she told us that losing 15-year-old Heaven Washington has turned her world upside down.
I woke up to my son calling me up, telling me that she was dead.
Alice Washington said she couldn't breathe right then, and she still can't. 15-year-old Heaven Washington is her son's oldest child and has 6 younger siblings.
They know they're not going to see their sister no more. And she practically raised these children. They was very close.
Alice Washington joined us from her home in Mississippi. She said her son and his wife had life struggles and lost custody of the 7 children. She has tried, so far unsuccessfully, to get custody, and now she wants answers from investigators and Children's Services about what happened.
I want answers to everything.
We want closure for this family, for her friends. We want everybody to know what happened. We want to get them off the street.
Sheriff Rob Streck said his detectives spoke to the driver of the car Heaven Washington was in Friday. And over the weekend, they developed information that showed the other car involved in the rolling shootout was a red RAV4 with 2 people inside. Detectives now want to speak with 29-year-old Tommy Moreland and 32-year-old Denisha Taylor.
Yeah, we're pretty sure they know we're looking for them, so all we can assume now is that they are not going to turn themselves in.
Streck told us there is a reward being offered by Crime Stoppers for helping an arrest happen in this case. A grieving grandmother told us this entire mess is senseless, including her granddaughter's death.
She was a sweet child. That's all I can tell you. She was a sweet child.
We did reach out to Montgomery County Job and Family Services, and this afternoon they replied in part, "This is truly a tragic incident. Our thoughts are with the family and friends of this young lady. Montgomery County cannot disclose whether or not this youth was in the care of Children's Services, as those details are confidential.
Just a couple days after Heaven's untimely murder, 32-year-old Denisha Taylor turned herself into the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. 29-year-old Tommy Moreland would go on the run for a little over a month before finally being arrested by police. A motive in the shooting remains unclear, and detectives believe the shooting was indeed a targeted attack. Heaven's grandmother was overjoyed at the news of the second arrest, although nothing will ever bring her granddaughter back. All Heaven wanted to do was go to school and have fun on what was supposed to be an amazing field trip for her and her classmates. No one will ever really know what happened that day, except for the two suspects who are refusing to talk to police. The case remains ongoing.
They went to try to make a traffic stop on Mr. Moreland, and he fled the scene.
Montgomery County Sheriff Rob Streck told me it has literally been a long road to this arrest. The fatal gunfire took place in mid-November here at Philadelphia and Turner in the early morning hours. 15-year-old Heaven Washington, a passenger in another car, was killed. Detectives developed information a maroon RAV4 might be involved and spotted it in an Inglewood Meyer parking lot. We obtained these pictures of that vehicle driving away on Route 48. A short time later, the vehicle was captured going around vehicles on Hoke Road, going through a red light and headed towards the freeway. A quick shot moments later from a freeway camera captured the RAV4 taking to the right shoulder to pass vehicles. Detectives would find the RAV4 abandoned, leading to 2 weeks of following leads before Tommy Moreland showed up at the jail Tuesday morning.
If he would not have turned himself in and we located him, there's all kinds of things that can always happen, whether it's another pursuit. Pursuits are always dangerous.
Streck told me Moreland has not been cooperative and refused to talk to detectives. But Heaven Washington's grandmother is overjoyed simply that he's behind bars.
I am happy. I thank God. I've been praying and asking God to bring him to justice.
The sheriff is just happy that all the man-hours spent looking for a murder suspect in a case that had the community on edge is over.
The murder of anybody is a tragedy, but you know, when it's an innocent 15-year-old that was on her way to school to go to a field trip.
Back live now, while Tommy Moreland sits here at the Montgomery County Jail, sheriff's detectives are speaking with prosecutors about potential charges of murder and tampering with evidence against him. We will let you know if and when those charges are approved.